Hey guys, God bless you. Glad you're back. Um, so I'm gonna start this video off with a couple things. I'm gonna tell you about the dream, and I'm gonna tell you about my mother a little bit. Um, this is a very strange topic, very hard to grasp, very um, I don't know, I don't know how to put it, but it's. I guess what comes to mind is the truth is stranger than fiction, and it definitely is. Um, I'll tell you about my mother. My mother is a born again Christian, has been most of her adult. She's 70 years old. She's a very wonderful woman. Um, Lives in a small town, um, loves the Lord, cleans the church, takes care of the poor, takes stuff to them at Christmas time, bakes cookies, bakes bread, and that's what she does. She goes to the nursing home and does nails for free. I mean, she is God is using her in a mighty way to reach the less fortunate, and a wonderful woman. And I've deployed a couple times in the military, and you know, uh, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her prayers. That I know. She's prayed every day for me. Um, Not only now as a law enforcement officer, and everybody knows, and that this is, that's not the profession to be in. God put me there, but um, had not been for her prayers and the love of Jesus Christ, there's no way I would have made it where I was at. That said, when all these things, when I had my divine experience and the Lord spoke to me, and you can go to my testimony and see that. I was really on fire. I was just absolutely crazy. And I started reading, and like many of you, things just jumped out at you at the Bible. They just grabbed a hold of you like nothing else. And such was, I believe God has given me some wisdom, and He's given me some insight on some strange stuff in the Bible. I always was the kid that liked Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster, UFOs. I was always intrigued by all those things and the weirdness of this world. And I was like, all these people can't be lying. And my mom just kind of blew it off, and of course I fell away and everything else. But um, when I started seeing these things, I talked to my mom about it. I'm like, Mom, look at Genesis 6. Read Genesis 6 with me, and we'd read it. And I'm like, Mom, these are fallen angels mating with women, and she just would clam right up. And she just was like, God would not allow that, Carl. God would not allow that. And it kind of makes me wonder now at this point, I know God has her. I know nothing's going to happen to her, but it makes me wonder, since she's rejected that, and or is she just not allowed to see it because of her mindset? I don't know, but it's not easy delivering these things. It's not easy to look at this and to see what happened. I mean, this is some spooky stuff. So I just want to throw that out. It's some people are going to get it, some people aren't, and that's okay. You know, a future group will get it very soon when things start to get really crazy here on Earth. Um, the second thing I want to tell you about the dream was my wife was pregnant. She didn't even know she was pregnant. She had no idea she had a baby in her, and she goes, next thing I know, the baby was on this, like the scale with the stainless steel, and she's like, Carl, we got to name this child. And I was like, I really don't want to name it. And I kind of like abandoned it. And she's like, that we say it because we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. And that was pretty much the dream. And as I got to thinking about it, and then when she had the dream, there was several confirmations about adoption and just different things. And through books she's reading and stuff. But um, it was really, really weird because I'm under the impression after I had that dream, or she had that dream and told me about it, and then all these things started just coming out. Like I didn't have to study for this really. I just kind of went online and just looked at a few things, and um, but as I got to realize this, and I was wondering, well, what did Adam? How did Adam eat the fruit? Partake in the fruit, and what came to me was he took on the child that Eve sinned with Satan. He he instead of letting Eve go down and take that whole sin of that unlawful union, Adam accepted the child. And I think that's what the sin for Adam was. He took on the child as his own. And we'll get into this a little bit deeper because I believe that they were twins, Adam or Cain and Abel. But we'll get into that here in a minute. Or maybe not this video, but the next one definitely. But anyway, it was the fact that I think Adam took on that child as his own. And if you think about that, you might think, well, what else would he do in God's love and this and that? Well, okay, before we get too crazy, we know that God killed women, children, animals, everything when Israelites would go into a village, if it was a tainted seed village, or if it was a Nephilim, Canaanite, Amorite, Hittite, all those ites, village. There was no, hey, let's take some children with us. It was an eradication, and that was from the fallen, that wicked seed that was intermingled to prevent the Messiah. And that's what it comes down to, trying to prevent the Messiah from coming. So anyway, quick review. I just wanted to open up with that. Unlawful unions bring judgment or problems. You have the fallen, you have Abraham and Hagar, who had Ishmael. And look at the problems that it brought. We've seen those problems today. You had Solomon, had everything going for him, everything in the world. All he had, everything. Money, wisdom, riches, glory, power, the temple. He had it all. He had 400 some concubines. Had all of this and ended up with Ashtaroth and lost it all, including his wisdom. Israel and the strange flesh sacrifices had to be blemish free, spot free, free of any type of blemish. Read Ezra 9. This is a very interesting. We'll get to it down here. Fruit we know is synonymous with children. All right, we learned that in the word study. Okay, Ezra 9 speaks of defilement with other seed lines. It's kind of interesting because Zerah 2234 means future seed, and you have Ezra. So kind of definitely an interesting play on words there, which I'm sure the Lord meant to have happen. I thought that was kind of neat. All right, first thing we're going to look at is tree. Now, if you go into the Strong's Concordance, all right, and we're going to look at this word tree. And where was I? Real quick, 2:6. Okay. You can go through here, or however you have your program set up, and see. Okay, and see what you find. I went through almost every word of tree in here, and didn't see anything really significant. It's the let's see here. Tree. All right. It is tree, wood, carpenter, gallows, pine, bark, plank, stick. So it's nothing, very significant. I do find this interesting. Properly to fasten or to make firm or to close the eyes shut. Okay? Keeping the eyes shut. So we know that their eyes were opened when they partook of the fruit. Okay? So I thought that was kind of interesting coming from that word there at Teshah. But anyway, you go through here and you can click on trees and all these things, and you're not going to really find much. But what I found was interesting was this verse in Psalms 37:33. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Now, this word tree here appears only once. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. It appears a couple times, but what it means is interesting. Let's take a look. It's Ezrock, all right, from 2224, in the sense of springing up, a spontaneous growth, i.e. native, tree or persons. Bay tree, home, born, in the land, of the one's own country, nation. Okay, so what this implies is this tree is of its own country or nation, homegrown, in the land. Who was made first? Adam and Eve or the angelic beings? Okay, so let's go here. It comes from this word here. Primitive root, properly to eradicate, shoot forth beams, to rise as the sun, specifically to appear as a symptom of leprosy, arise, rise up as soon as it's up. Okay, now let's take a look at something. Okay, so this is the first word as rock. All right, it's from the 2224. Okay, from the rising sun one. Okay, just showing you a different the letter Bible concordance. Born, country, land, home born, nation, bay tree. Okay, a native, one rising from the soil. Okay, of man, native Israelites, a tree, native to Israel. Spontaneous growth, bay tree, home, one's own country or nation. Once again, who was made first? Okay. These are the rest of the verses. So let's click on 2224. So rock, and it is arise, rise, rise up, shine, to come forth, to break out, to rise, rise up and shine, to rise, come out and appear, shoot forth as the sun. Now, what I thought was interesting when I think of the rise up and the shine, I thought of Obama's, logo. Okay, when you also get into the when I started looking at Zarak, which is the rise up, to shoot forth, I saw this. I thought this was interesting. Zarak Bal, and then Thar-Raga, and it happens to be a heavy metal rock band, which I thought is interesting. I mean, why that? If that doesn't have Satan written all over it, I mean, I don't know what does. But how did he get these names? You know what I mean? So, just another little confirmation to add to it. So let's go to Ezrock, which is back to the original tree, Green Bay tree, all right, which is born in the land of one's own country. When explicitly the laws against blah, 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 Passover Torah concludes these rules, okay. Is this what I'm looking for? Yeah. That's often paired together, two different kinds of residence. Right here. It's often paired with ger to refer to two different kinds of residence. Immigrant, entry of the Hittites, and it goes on a little bit right there. Native born, with roots to the land. Okay. Strong tree, well-rooted, robust. Okay. So, that's pretty interesting. Tied with roots to the land. So, once again, we know the angels were made first. Native born. Okay. I wanted to show you this article real quick, and then I'll close. Famous Harvard professor seeks adventurous woman to give birth to Nephilim. This is just a few days ago. What woman would want to give birth to a Neanderthal baby? This incredible scenario is the plan of the world's leading gynecologist who is seeking to volunteer to help bring man's long extinct close relative back to life. George Church of Harvard Medical School believes he can reconstruct Neanderthal DNA, resurrect the species which became extinct 33,000 years ago. Blah blah blah. Junk. But it's true. This is what we're living in. This is where we're living. We have to be vigilant and seek the Lord on these things. And it's it's the truth. It's where we're at. It's where we're at, and we are the last generation, whether people want to believe it or not. But anyway, just wanted to throw that in there. Um, what has been done will be done again. There's no new thing under the sun. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Next time we will talk about the actual verse. To touch, um, it pleased the eye. It was pleasing. Um, the to eat, all those different things. So, all right, just taking this slow. All right, guys, take care and God bless you all.